Coach, we've been asking our listeners today and really all week long in anticipation of this training camp, how tough was it to go from the best record in the NFC a couple of years ago, 13-3, hosting the NFC Championship game for the first time at home in Atlanta Falcons franchise history, and then what happened last year with a 4-12 year?
Well, it's a very humbling experience, I think, for everyone. And life is humbling, but the NFL is even more humbling. But it's something that I think will motivate our football team moving forward.
Hey, Mike, when you look at this season coming up specifically, there's a lot of want-tos and a lot of shoulds, about getting tougher, about getting bigger, about getting more physical, things like that. When you look at this team, with the way that you can train in training camp and the way you have to approach preseason, will there be a way for you to really know what kind of running game, what kind of run defense you really have before the regular season starts?
It's very difficult, Randy, as you know, as being a former offensive lineman. The offseason up to this point, our offensive and defensive linemen really haven't had an opportunity to really work on their trade. And that was an emphasis point last night is, guys, we get an opportunity for you guys, the O&D line, to really now go out and work. And we're going to have to get some work done. We're going to have some physical practices. We've got to be smart in what we're doing. We've got to work hard. We've got to be physical, but we've got to make sure that we keep everybody healthy. And that is very difficult as a coach and as players to get prepared. But it's the way that the system is set up.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't get an opportunity in the offseason. Offensive and defensive linemen, we have non-contact practices. You really can't work on what you're going to be doing during the regular season.
Talk about, obviously, there are no excuses in the NFL, but talk about the team's health and some of the guys that we're looking forward to seeing back out there this year. Julio specifically, and how do you feel overall about guys coming into camp and starting camp today?
Well, I think that our off season has gone extremely well in terms of what we've accomplished in the weight room and what we've accomplished in our athletic performance. We're going to have a couple of guys, actually 3 guys, that are going to be starting on PUP. We anticipate Corey Peters to hopefully get off of it very quickly. He's been working extremely hard off of his Achilles. Drew Davis had a procedure done in late June, and he will be working to get back off, and then Zeke Mata. So those 3 guys are going to be on PUP. The positive things that we have going is you're going to see Croy Bierman and Julio Jones participating in practice today. Those guys have worked extremely hard getting back. We're going to limit their snaps, but they will be as close to full participants as they can. Croy will work 2 days and take a day off, and then to start with, and then we'll evaluate after week 1. And Julio, we're going to give him a day off every other day to start with. And we should have those guys by the beginning of the season at 100% and ready to go. And that's our number one goal, is we want to be as healthy as we possibly can.
Joined by Falcons head coach Mike Smith here at Falcons training camp in Flowery Branch. You're on Marc and Randy along with Jamal Anderson. Coach, the one label that has come under fire for this team is the word soft. Fairly or unfairly, how do you shed that?
Well, I think it's unfair. I think this is a very tough football team. We did not perform well last year. I think we didn't win the line of scrimmage, and I think you can see that's been an emphasis point for us in the offseason as we've calibrated our roster. We wanted to get bigger and stronger, and there's a couple ways that you do it. It starts with the returning players getting into the weight room. I think you'll see a marked difference when you look at our guys on the hoof. And then we added guys through free agency in the draft. The 3 guys that we added in free agency are big, strong guys. And the guys that I've been around have always, when we've played well, especially on the defensive side, is we've had big, strong men in the trenches, and we've added 2 on that side, and then with our second-round draft pick and Rashid Hageman. So we've gotten bigger, we've gotten stronger, and I believe that's how you're going to rectify it.
I saw Rashid Hageman at Olive Garden, and he blocked the sun.
Yeah.
And the buffet line.
And I didn't want him to think I was a weirdo, but I walked up to him, and I almost hugged him. I was like, man, we're happy to have you, big. I was like, we're happy to have you. They're looking up at the tent,
Isn't one of the great things, though, about football, Mike, especially at this level, that it's not a tell me business, it's a show me business.
Absolutely.
So if anybody wants to put a label on you, okay, we'll see how that works out. I'll show you that's not correct.
That's right. And we only get 16 opportunities. You're guaranteed those 16 opportunities to go and show what you can do. And, I think that this is going to be a very competitive training camp. We're going to see a lot of competition in the offensive line. We've got 9 guys that have started in the NFL on our roster that play the offensive line, and that does include our number 1 pick, the 6th pick in the draft, and Jake Matthews, and he's on a fast track to be a starter right off the bat. So we've got some flexibility in the O-line.
We'd be remiss if we didn't ask you, this is the one difference of any Falcons training camp from years past, HBO's Hard Knocks. And obviously the cameras are here, they're everywhere, they're pervasive. And we had your brother-in-law, Brian Billick, on the other day, and he embraced it, and he said that you'll be fine. Your thoughts on just what you've had to experience so far with that?
Well, I've had the opportunity to experience it twice, once in Baltimore the very first time and in Jacksonville. And in this day and age, I'm looking here right now, you talk about on camera.
Right.
We're doing a radio show and we're on camera.
Right. Exactly.
Everybody's on camera.
Yeah, exactly.
You ride down I-85, you're on camera.
Right.
And I look at it this way. Everything that we do on game day, there's boom mics and everything you say, somebody's hearing it, somebody's seeing it. You can't focus on what's going on outside. You've got to focus on your job. We get an opportunity to go out and perform and focus on what we do, and people are going to get an opportunity to have this documented.
How hard are player evaluations in front of a camera?
They're difficult because player evaluations are difficult, whether it's in front of a camera or not.
You're crushing a dream that people kind of get to look at. Well, in some cases,
but it's very difficult. The competition in the National Football League between 45 and 53 and 53 to 90, when you're making those evaluations, whether there's cameras or not, those are tough and hard decisions that we have to make, and they're going to be documented because this is what this show is. It's not a reality show. It's a documentary about an NFL preseason, and people are going to get an opportunity to see how the Atlanta Falcons do business.
Coach, we appreciate joining us. We wish you all the luck this year. I believe that last year was an aberration. You guys will get back to your winning ways this year. Looking forward to a tremendous 2014 season, and appreciate you stopping by Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.